Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaya Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamadiriya Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 14, the material world as a great forest of enjoyment. Text number 5 onwards. So we'll go to the translation. Sometimes the conditioned soul in household life, being attached to material wealth and possessions, is disturbed by gadflies and mosquitoes. And sometimes locusts, birds of prey, and rats give him trouble. Nonetheless, he still wanders down the path of material existence. Due to ignorance, he becomes lusty and engages in fruitive activity. Because his mind is absorbed in these activities, he sees the material world as permanent, although it is temporary, like a phantasmagoria, a house in the sky. The following song is sung by Narottam Das Thakur. Ahangare mattahaya nitai pad pashriya asatyere satya karimani. Due to forgetting the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda and being puffed up by material possessions, wealth, and opulence, one thinks the false, temporary material world to be an actual fact. This is a material disease. The living entity is eternal and blissful, but despite miserable material conditions, he thinks the material world to be real and factual due to his ignorance. Thus, this ignorance is what keeps the material world going. Otherwise, there is no need, there is no purpose of it. But because of our ignorance, we think this is permanent, and anything that happens here is for my pleasure, and the material world just goes on and on and on and on. Text 6. Tatra cha kvachidatta podka nibhana vishyanupadhavati panam bhojan vyavadi vyasana lolupaha. Sometimes in this house in the sky, Gandharvapura, the conditioned soul drinks, eats, and has sex. Being overly attached, he chases after the objects of the senses, just as a deer chases a mirage in the desert. There are two worlds, the spiritual and the material. The material world is false, like a mirage in the desert. In the desert, animals think they see water, but actually there is none. Similarly, those who are animalistic try to find peace within the desert of material life. It is repeatedly said in different shastras that there is no pleasure in this material world. Furthermore, even if we agree to live without pleasure, we are not allowed to do so. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that the material world is not only full of miseries, but is also temporary, ashashvatam. Even if we want to live here amid miseries, material nature will not allow us to do so. It will oblige us to change bodies and enter another atmosphere full of miserable conditions. So being overly attached, the deer changes, or the condition changes after the objects of the senses. And thinking that this will give me pleasure, that will give me pleasure, this will give me. But the mind plays so many games. Mind has two functions actually. It says it accepts and it rejects. It accepts something, thinks this will give me pleasure, and he gets some pleasure, but it's temporary, and then he rejects. Then he is looking for something new, something new, something new, something new. This is the game of the mind. And then the desires will never end, never ever end. Text 7. Sometimes a living entity is interested in the yellow stool known as gold and runs after it. That gold is a source of material opulence and envy, and it can enable one to afford illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication. Those whose minds are overcome by the mode of passion are attracted by the color of gold, just as a man suffering from cold in the forest runs after a phosphorescent light in the marshy land, considering it to be fire. So, on top of everything, then he wants to run after gold. So that's why in Hindi there is a shloka. I don't know who wrote it, Kabir Das or I don't know, most probably Kabir Das. Yeah, kanak kanak te soguno madakta dikai. Iti pae bohai jag iti khaye borai jag uti pae borai. Means kanak. Kanak has two meaning: gold and wheat. Matakta adhikaya means one who wants to gather more and more. It just makes him mad. Iti pai borai jak means one who gets the gold, he becomes mad, and one who eats lots of wheat means then he, because he wants to enjoy. He wants to enjoy. That's what happens. But it is so difficult to give it up. And what is gold? And here, Jad Bharat is saying in a very nice way, it is yellow stool. It looks like that only. But people are crazy about gold, especially in India. They just want to buy more and more and more and more of it. Can't wear it. And occasionally ladies wear it just to show off. And it's a cause of envy for others. And people, robbers will try to steal it. How much one can wear anyway? But people go crazy for this metal, gold. And it is, and Jodhbhar is saying, and it can enable one to afford illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication. So this is what Kali also, when Maharaj Parikshit told him, okay, you can only stay in these four places where illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, intoxication goes on. And Kali said, Maharaj, in your kingdom, there are no such places. So give me another place. So then he said, okay, wherever people hoard gold, you can stay there. Means it leads to all these four sinful activities. Parikshit Maharaj told Kali Yuga to leave his kingdom immediately and reside in four places: brothels, liquor shops, slaughterhouses, and gambling casinos. However, Kali Yuga requested him to give him only one place where these four places are included. And Parikshit Maharaj gave him the place where gold is stored. Gold encompasses the four principles of sin. And therefore, according to spiritual life, gold should be avoided as far as possible. If there is gold, there is certainly illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. Because people in the Western world have a great deal of gold, they are victims of these forces. The color of gold is very glittering, and a materialistic person becomes very much attracted by its yellow color. However, this gold is actually a type of stool. A person with a bad liver generally passes yellow stool. The color of this stool attracts a materialistic person, just as a will-o'-the-wisp attracts one who needs heat. So, person with a bad liver generally passes yellow stool. Means it's so abominable, actually. So all the spiritually advanced people or the sadhus will see, they'll never even touch gold. But it's a source of so much of satisfaction and pleasure for the materialistic people. And people go crazy for gold. Text 8. Sometimes a conditioned soul is absorbed in finding residential quarters or apartments and getting a supply of water and riches to maintain his body. Absorbed in acquiring a variety of necessities, he forgets everything and perpetually runs around the forest of material existence. As originally mentioned, a poor man belonging to the mercantile community goes to the forest to get some cheap woods to bring back to the city to sell at a profit. He is so absorbed in the thought of maintaining body and soul together that he forgets his original relationship with Krishna and seeks only the bodily comforts. Thus, material activities are the conditioned soul's only engagement. Not knowing the aim of life, the materialist perpetually wanders in material existence, struggling to get the necessities of life. Not understanding the aim of life, even though he acquires sufficient necessities, he manufactures artificial necessities and thus becomes more and more entangled. He creates a mental situation whereby he needs greater and greater comforts. The materialist does not know the secret of nature's ways. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, the bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself to be the doer of activities which are in actuality carried out by nature. Due to lusty desire, the living entity creates a sudden mental situation whereby he wants to enjoy this material world. He thus becomes entangled, enters different bodies, and suffers in them. So sometimes the materialistic people, even though he thinks, oh, I'm not attracted to gold, but he still wants to find residential quarters and a house or somewhere to live, and then he gets engaged more and more, entangled more and more. He just forgets what's his real goal of life. Now, if somebody has 1 BHK, and then his desire is that he should have 2 BHK, and then 3 BHK, and then he should have a bungalow, and then this or that. These are not necessities. These are just desires, and they keep on increasing. That's what Prabhupada says. He manufactures artificial necessities and thus becomes more and more entangled. And in his heart, he wants to convince himself that, oh, this is my necessity now. I need it. You don't need it. Text 9. Sometimes, as if blinded by the dust of a whirlwind, the conditioned soul sees the beauty of the opposite sex, which is called pramada. Being thus bewildered, he is raised upon the lap of a woman, and at that time his good senses are overcome by the force of passion. He thus becomes almost blind with lusty desire and disobeys the rules and regulations governing sex life. He does not know that his disobedience is witnessed by different demigods, and he enjoys illicit sex in the dead of night, not seeing the future punishment awaiting him. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarisha. Sex is allowed only for the begetting of children, not for enjoyment. One can indulge in sex to beget a good child for the benefit of the family, society, and the world. Otherwise, sex is against the rules and regulations of religious life. A materialistic person does not believe that everything is managed in nature. And he does not know that if one does something wrong, he is witnessed by different demigods. A person enjoys illicit sex, and due to his blind, lusty desire, he thinks that no one can see him. But this illicit sex is thoroughly observed by the agents of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the person is punished in so many ways. Present in Kali Yuga, there are many pregnancies due to illicit sex, and sometimes abortions ensue. These sinful activities are witnessed by the agents of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And a man and woman who create such a situation are punished in the future by the stringent laws of material nature. Illicit sex is never excused, and those who indulge in it are punished life after life. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Asurim Yonim Apanna. Attaining repeated birth among the species of demoniac life, such persons can never approach me. Gradually they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. So these material laws are very, very strict. The laws of material nature are very, very strict. Very strict. We cannot just run away from them. And any time it's only mercy of Krishna that he does not give the punishment right away. It's not like if somebody is eating non-veg and it's considered very sinful, that when he orders or eats non-veg, that he's punished right away, that Yamdutas are standing right there with their swords or spears and they kill that person. It doesn't happen like that. Why? Because Krishna is so merciful. He still gives us a chance to correct ourselves till the time of death. Some punishments might be there till we die, just to help us understand that let's not do it. But till the time of death, he still gives us chance to correct ourselves. And if we don't, then the punishment is there. Punishment is very much there. It's his mercy that he gives us a chance. But we think, oh, I did something wrong and I didn't get punished, so it's not wrong. So there's nothing wrong in what I did. But whatever wrong or right, it's all mentioned in the scriptures. We have to have the eyes to see the scripture, ears to hear the scriptures. Learn it from the devotees, bona fide spiritual master. And then try to stop our sinful activities. But the desires will still remain. That's where the problem is. We are not like robots that we can turn off the switch and that's it. The robot won't do anything. The desires will still remain and the person will definitely go towards those sinful acts. It's the nature of the mind to go down. So with the bhakti process, yoga, bhakti yoga, different yogas, but bhakti yoga is more powerful. With the bhakti process, we try to keep ourselves at least in the mode of goodness, if not beyond. So those desires of sinful activities, they just go away. Otherwise, it's not at all possible. The Supreme Personality of Godhead does not allow anyone to act against the stringent laws of material nature. Therefore, illicit sex is punished life after life. Illicit sex creates pregnancies, and these unwanted pregnancies lead to abortion. Those involved become implicated in these sins, so much so that they are punished in the same way the next life. Thus, in the next life, they also enter the womb of a mother and are killed in the same way. All these things can be avoided by remaining on the transcendental platform of Krishna consciousness. In this way, one does not commit sinful activity. Illicit sex is the most prominent sin due to lusty desire. When one associates with the mode of passion, he is implicated in suffering, life after life. And here Prabhupada talks about the abortions. So those involved become implicated in these sins. In the next life, they also enter the womb of a mother and are killed in the same way. So those who perform abortion, now again, so many people are implicated in that. The mother and the father who agreed to abortion, the doctor, the nurses, whoever is involved, they're all part of the same crime. And they will also face the same reaction. Text 10. The conditioned soul sometimes personally appreciates the futility of sense enjoyment in the material world, and he sometimes considers material enjoyment to be full of miseries. However, due to his strong bodily conception, his memory is destroyed, and again he runs after material enjoyment, just as an animal runs after a mirage in the desert. The main disease in material life is a bodily conception. Being baffled again and again in material activity, the conditioned soul temporarily thinks of the futility of the material enjoyment. But he again tries the same thing. By the association of devotees, a person may become convinced of the material futility, but he again cannot give up his engagement, although he is very eager to return home back to Godhead. Under these circumstances, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart, compassionately takes away all the material possessions of such a devotee. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yasya ham anugranami harishya tadhanam shanay. So a devotee, not a mature devotee, but if he comes in the association, takes up the process, but because of his desires, because of his weakness in his heart, he wants to go back to the life of sense enjoyment. And that's when, now it depends how strong was his desire, that's when Krishna intervenes. Yeah, that's what Prabhupada said, compassionately takes away all the material possessions of such a devotee. Now do what you're going to do. Lord Krishna says that he takes away everything from the devotee whom he specially favors when that devotee is overly attached to material possessions. When everything is taken away, the devotee feels helpless and frustrated in the society, friendship, and love. He feels that his family does not care for him any longer, and he therefore completely surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. This is a special favor granted by the Lord to a devotee who cannot fully surrender to the Lord due to strong bodily conception. See, and sometimes if we find a devotee like that, what do we think? We think, oh, he has been very offensive, he has been very sinful, and that's why he is getting his karmic reactions. That is, he has become poor, or he has no material possessions, or maybe he becomes sick also, whatever can happen. See, again, this is our judgmental mentality. Why? We don't know. Maybe Krishna is giving him special favor by taking away everything so that he can fully surrender unto Krishna, fully take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. But we think we know everything. That's where the problem is. We don't know anything actually. Forget about everything. We don't know anything. What is Krishna doing, or how his material nature is working. We don't know anything. So all we have to do, in case somebody is suffering, we just show compassion to that devotee. Whichever way we can help to try and make more progress on the path of bhakti, that's all we should be doing. Let Krishna do whatever he wants. Nobody can stop him. But we become very, very judgmental. As explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ami Vigya E Murkha Vishay Kene Diba. The Lord understands the devotee who hesitates to engage in the Lord's service, not knowing whether he should again try to revive his material life. After repeated attempts and failures, he fully surrenders to the lotus feet of the Lord. The Lord then gives him directions, and attaining happiness, he forgets all material engagement. So that's Krishna's special mercy on him. That's why he says in Bhagavatam, Yasyam Anugranami. Anugranami means special mercy, that he takes away all the possessions. And possessions could be in the form of anything: money, health, relatives, children, anything he is attached to. Krishna will take that away so that he can fully surrender unto him. So that's what we should be looking at, that Krishna is being very merciful upon so and so devotee. It's not like that devotee who is materially rich, Krishna is not merciful upon him. He is merciful upon everybody, all the devotees. It's just we have to show the mercy further. We have to be compassionate with other devotees, even if they're going through some hardships or even if they're not, whatever. We just have to be compassionate. And then Krishna will be happy with us also. That's what we all want. Okay, so I guess we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Please accept mine.
Thank you so much for the beautiful class. Very good point, which I liked very much. That if Lord takes away something, or if some pain is also there. Actually, I also thought that it is due to some karmic reaction of previous reactions that I'm getting this pain or so. But yes, very well, you nicely explained that it is due to it is the mercy of the Lord, that if we are too much attached to a body, then we'll get that pain, so that we can understand our real thing. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for making that point and helping us understand that.
Yeah, but at the same time, a devotee thinks if he is going through some pains, he thinks it's just my karmic reactions. A devotee never thinks that I'm so advanced that Krishna has to intervene. It's for others.
Yes. Thank you
It's for
so much.
others. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
A nice question though, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, at times, but I've heard people kind of creating deities out of gold, or maybe the utensils for the Lord out of gold and silver. And I've heard, in fact, how kind of passionately they keep it and kind of serve the Lord. So
That's
is that
okay. For the Lord, it's okay. We can give him the items made of diamond. Why only gold? But not for ourselves.
True, but it was wonderful classes. Amazing instructions.
Yeah. Yes, Rao, sir, I think you were going to ask something.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Come.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I
Hare
accept
Krishna.
my obeisances. Prabhuji, what I heard your class today, the whole class I attended. So I have few things like doubts or some things which I try to understand or realize. See, we like I might come, every might come into this world, but we come with a purpose. Okay, we need to serve a purpose. Okay, and then the pain, the sorrow, the misery that comes in between, or we overcome. It's just like it's giving us a chance to look at back to Krishna. It's like he's, and then when you catch his hand, he never leaves you. And when you're in pain, when you look back at him, he says, I am there with you. So that's my understanding. Anything else you can add on or correct me anywhere else?
What's the purpose we have come to this world for?
Purpose, like we are surrendering ourselves to him. We at the end of the day, he is our abode. We have to go back to him. There ends the matter, and when he sends us, we come back. It's his will and wish. Only that thing we need to understand.
Well, no, he doesn't want us to be here. That's why the whole purpose is to go back, to understand that we belong to
But
the spiritual world, not
is it
here.
not that he sends us with a purpose? Is it not that the thing?
No, he doesn't send us, we come. Well,
No. My question, truly fact. Like, if we don't want to come from him, then why does he send? If I said no, why are you sending me? At this airport, I said no, I don't want to go.
Because we made some mistake over there.
But
We
is that
developed
not that? No. Is that not the thing that when he sends, like you are there, you have come with a purpose. You are teaching us. So you are again bringing us on a track. So he has sent you to us, right? So how can I declare that, okay, you might be going back, but then again your necessity would be coming here. So wouldn't that be the fact that he has sent us with a purpose?
See, if a thief in the city, he steals something or somebody commits a crime and the government puts him in the prison. So the government has sent him to the prison or the thief did a crime. That's why the government sent him to the prison.
Then if that's the case, then why should he bring us into existence? The question comes there. If that's not the case, our existence is through him. He's in everything, anything and everywhere he is there. So what is the purpose then, if that is the case? Is my question again.
So when we come to the prison, if the thief or criminal goes to the prison house, the purpose is not for him to stay in the prison house forever. The purpose is to get rectified and go back to the city and lead a normal, healthy life. So our purpose is to get out of this material world, go back to the spiritual world. So he has created all of us for the pleasure of him and the soul also living in it. We both find pleasure in his service.
Okay. Got it, sir. I got it. Now I got it. Now it's clearer for me. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay, so I guess we can stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you.